It is absolutely fabulous being here in a room with entrepreneurs and business owners. It always inspires and energizes me. It takes me to a whole other level. It's always great to be in a room, particularly with she business people, because we know what it takes to build relationships and what great relationships are all about. And I was reminded of this recently when I was at another networking event. And this lovely woman from the corporate travel industry pinned me up against the wall for about 15 minutes, giving me a shopping list of everything that her business provided. And I was able to extricate myself from that conversation, leaving her feeling respected and appreciated, because as you can imagine, I've been in those situations quite a few times over my life. And in fact, it took me back to the time that it happened in the very first time when I was at a networking event. And I'd just begun my networking sort of foray, and it was in London. I went to the very first networking event, and we lived in Wimbledon, and I travelled over to Barnes, which actually isn't such a long way away, but when you're in London, traffic can make that a very long way. And like only the English do, this networking event was in this beautiful, 600-year-old castle that you would rock up to, and 20-foot high ceilings, and you walk into this room, or sashay, which is the word I was looking for last week, sashay into the room, and what I was met with was a sea of, gorgeous, wonderful people there, and it was so exciting. I couldn't wait to get in there and meet some of them. And I wasn't planning to meet everyone in the room, but I just had on my agenda, if I could meet half a dozen people, it'd be a great start. And of course, not being really a shrinking wall violet, I was able just to wander in there and introduce myself to somebody straight away. And her name was Anne, and I still remember Anne. Anne sold seaweed, and she was really passionate about seaweed. She bathed in it. She had face masks for it. She drank it. She had vitamin pills that were made of seaweed because she had had some skin condition, and seaweed had been her panacea. And so she was determined she was going to tell everyone about it. But back 10 years ago, I wasn't so great at extricating myself from conversations. And so I spent about an hour with Anne. And I saw all these lovely people who I had intended to meet all slowly dissipate. The crowd leave, the networking event was over, and I was still there talking to Anne. And I knew at that stage that if I was going to be really effective, I had to find a way to be able to extricate myself from conversations, but not in a way where they felt less than, but in a way which had them feel appreciated and respected. And so when I was talking to the lovely corporate travel woman the other day, I was reminded of those tools. And if you ever find yourself in that situation, there are some great ways that you can just leave without being rude. And so the approach that I take is this, that say it was Amanda, and I could turn around to her and say, you're obviously really passionate about your business, and it's great being around that energy, and thank you for telling me so much about your business. And I'm sure you've got other people who would also like to talk to here tonight. And as it's a networking event, so would I. So here's my business card. If you're ever looking for a membership organisation for women in business, I hope you'll think of us. And it's been really lovely to meet you. And walk away. And that way I haven't been rude. She's been able to get her message across, and you leave her feeling good about herself. And if you've ever been in those situations where you're talking to somebody at one of those events and they're looking over your shoulder, and you go, yeah, this is good, okay. I'm obviously really interested, this person's really interested in me. You can do the same sort of thing where you can just, say it as it is. Don't get awkward about it. So if I asked Amanda to come up here and we're having a conversation at a networking event, and that's right, and I'm going, oh God, okay, so she's looking bored. I go, you're obviously really keen to meet other people in the room, as am I. So it's been lovely to meet you, Amanda. Here's my business card. And should you ever need my services, we're a business club for women, please feel free to contact me, and I'm sure our paths will cross again.
I'd love to see you again.
Beautiful. End of story, done. So you don't need to have all the awkward silences. You don't need to pretend that you have to go off to the toilet or go fill your drink, which is already still full. Really, use some of those tools. We all find ourselves in that situation, and there are great ways, and I hope you've seen a couple of avenues there that you can use in extricating yourself from those conversations.